Hello and welcome to a Everquest guide for a 120 Shaman. We're here on my 120 Shaman right now, and this is a guide for how I play my Shaman. Like, I just want to stress this enough. Like, this is not the most optimal. This is how I play my Shaman in a multi-boxing situation. I box 6 characters, I use IS Boxer, and I use the in-game multi-bind where you can bind the same key to multiple hotbars buttons, allowing you to kind of overload the buttons, if you will. So let's kind of go into my spells that I have currently set up, and then we'll go into hotbars and abilities and where to go and some advice. All right. So for step 1, I have Reckless Resurgence as my first heal, which is 26,000 heal, but it deals 19,000 to me. 21,000 for the next heal here. This is Reckless Renewal, and then Reckless Rejuvenation for 17,000. So these are 3 big heals, but they all damage me. So if I just target somebody and I heal them, you can see there. It didn't even do any damage to me. There we go. 1% damage. 2% damage. Like, hardly doing any damage to me. I do have a bunch of absorbs and stuff on right now that that absorb a lot of that damage. So it's not a big deal taking the damage. I'm just trying to say that. And then I have Spiritual Shower, which is a interesting spell. It's a targeted AoE that does it 3 times. So you can't see because I don't have the spell effects on this character, but it's every time she moves her hand, it's a wave of healing. That does that 3 times, doing 600 or 6,500 healing to everybody within that range. Then I have Spiritual of Renewal. So this is our synergy spell, and it is also our group heal. It's a heal over time. So it is, some limitations there. But this will 100% chance to trigger Luminary's Synergy, which will increase the healing provided by the next 3 spells that land on you by 32,000. So you can kind of see like how big these heals can get, right? So there, we get Luminary's Synergy right there. So 15 seconds do that. So if I cast on myself here, I would go to spells. I would have healed myself for 300,000 on a critical, right? So it's kind of nice in that regard. And then I have Polar Gift as my next spell. This allows me to twin cast my single target spell. So if I do this, actually no, I can't do that. I got to target. You have to target your target, right? So whoever you're healing, you nuke them, which then puts a nuke on him, doing 18,000. So you can see here spell damage. Spells, right? Oh, it fizzled. So there we go. Coldridge Polar Gift did 101,000, gave me 2 charges of healing twin cast, and then I can then go into a heal. I used 1 charge. I healed, twin casted him for where is it? 372,000 critical twin cast, and 184 that time. So insane amount of healing. Insane amount of healing going out there. All right, and then after that I have 3 damage spells, because I do like to do damage with my Shaman, because otherwise I wouldn't be doing a whole lot, because I don't really heal. I don't heal as much on the Shaman as I probably should, but I run a Cleric, so I don't need to. All right, so these are the combination dot spells. So these are the 2 poison dots we get cast with this one, Chaotic Toxin, and then the 2 disease with Tegi's Pandemic. And then I have a curse here that does 16,000 per tick, the 2 poisons do 15, 11. The disease does the 10 and 12,000. So it's it's a reasonable amount of damage. Like if we click on that and I click my dot button right here, so you can see, those two get twin casted on, diseases get twin casted on, and the final one goes. And then I should cast Spirit Call, which is my pet swarm spell. So it's like 173,000, 120,000, or it's 200,000 now. Jeez. Damage just for doing one spell cast, right? One macro in game. So pretty nice. And it's going up, and it's going to eventually go down because I'm not refreshing that, right? But once I refresh the dots and stuff like that, because the dot has actually a refresh on it, so it's the same duration of the time it takes to cast it, so it's kind of nice. And then I have Melancholy memorized, which is a proc slow spell. So you put it on your tank and it will slow the target that hits him, and it'll heal him also. It's pretty nice. Keep it on at all times. And then I have Horary Agreement, which is the cannibalize for this level. Just sucks some of my life out. It's got a 15-second reuse, so it's can't spam it like you used to, but it is definitely something I need to play my Shaman, because I don't have enough mana to do all this stuff. And then Ecliptic Roar is the next one, which is the replacement for like the Talisman of the Puma line. It just pretty much gives you this massive proc, right? So 18,000 proc, and heals you for 9,000 every tick. It's just insane. It's a minute recast. I do it on cooldown. It's really nice to have, and it affects all the pets and stuff too. And then this last spot is my just random spot for whatever. I keep focus in it right now, so I can redo focus when somebody dies without having to really worry about it too much, and this buffs pretty much everything. All right, so that's my everyday spells, right? I do switch in a few other spells here and there, like I'm just annoyed by that. There we go. I do have a macro for summoning my pet. I do have a macro for buffing my pet with spiritual reinforcement. I don't know how useful that is, but it's just a single cast macro that I kind of use on all of my characters. Just mems the spell slot and then goes back to the spell set that I was using previously. Like this, right? So mem spell slot 13, spirit reinforcement, cast it, redo it. I cast regen and spirit. I say Spirit of Wolf in the macro, but it's Taltak's Spirit of Taltak, I think is what the name of it is. But I keep regen up at all times, and I keep Taltak up on everybody at all times, just for that extra attack you get from that, plus the speed boost when necessary, like if Bard Song or Cheetah's down. Keep that going. Spell wise, so I did mention I do multi-bind, so every character is bound to either 4 or 5, and the Necromancer and the Shaman I do differently. I only bind 4. I mean, I only bind 5 to their hotbars. 4, I do not do anything. When I spam 4, this character does nothing. Nothing at all. Right? And that is by design, because I want to have this character be able to do things while I still am able to spam to heal and do damage. Those things involve debuffing, right? And dots. Dots, you don't spam dots. So I have it so when I'm spamming 4 on my Paladin, the Necro and Shaman do nothing. And I can do debuffs like this, right? and she will go through and do her debuffs. I'll show the macro here in just a second. There we go. So this sends in the pet, X target 19, right? Does mallow, does single slow. Now, I have these all synchronized across all my characters, so when I do debuff on one, they're all doing debuffs at the same time. So mage does dispel plus mallow. The necromancer does snare plus Synthethul line. Let me see here. And that's, you know, that's pretty much all my debuffs. And then the shaman's doing mallow and slow. And, you know, it works out pretty well for the way I play. And all this is going on, the paladin and the cleric are still doing, you know, tanky things and healy things without me breaking that cycle, right? And the mage is doing damage via nukes while doing that. And then I can also go into my dots, which cast 7, 8, and 9, and then Spirit Call, like we saw before. So I just do that. She dots it up. She's debuffed it, dotted it up. And once that Spirit Call lands, I can then move the Multibind into stage 2, as I call it, where the behavior changes. Right now she's going into heal mode, right? She's healing. When I'm pushing 5 now, that's the only button I'm pushing. See, my health is dropping from all the heals, but she's dropping out so much heal over time. And right now the cleric's not doing anything because that's only the shaman is activated at the moment. So she's the only one doing anything. So she's not getting the extra heals from the cleric's group buffs. So now we're, you know, back up. I do have Cannibalize 5 in my multibind for this stage when she's healing. So she's actually, you know, she's healing so she can actually heal up that, and that'll recover the mana that she loses from casting all the dots, which are very mana intensive. Hopefully that made sense. All right, and then so that's my multi-bind, right, for that, and that's how it works. And then the spells are Spirit of Renewal, Roar, Shower, Polar Gift, Reckless Resurgence, Reckless Renewal, and Reckless Rejuvenation. You can see here there's just an order of the level. And you don't want to go beyond 3 of these because the focuses will start to fall off here. So when we get to the next level, I guess it's 4 of them now. It was 3 previously. But as we get into the next levels, right, the older ones will start to not get focused anymore for some reason. So you don't want to keep casting those old ones. I don't need more than 3. They're refreshed by the time I get to them, the next one, right? So if I do 1, and then 2, and then 3, by the time I get back to this 3 seconds has gone by. So it's kind of, it works out in the end. And then after those 3, I do tribal. Well, I guess it's agreement now to cannibalize a little bit, and then I go into ancestral guard, which blesses the armor lower reduction of damage for, I don't believe it's my target, I believe it's me. Yeah, this is a self buff ancestral guard. And that is because I am doing cannibalize in this macro, right? And we'll watch my health. You know, I go below 50% health from full life. That's, you know, 150,000 damage take. Now, if something happens and something aggro's on me, I could theoretically die. So casting that ancestral guard kind of gives me that little bit of extra, you know, maybe I won't die today kind of thing. In actuality, I don't know how much it matters. Call of the Ancients summons a ward to heal everybody in the range. Pretty nice. Intervention here, just cast the highest level of intervention we have, which just does a kind of a group heal, but depending on who, you know, how people are damaged, they take different heal amounts. Spiritual Guardian is another puts it, you know, to target under a watch, right? So this is like a divine intervention kind of thing almost. You know, they go a certain point, they get a heal. Union of the Spirits just heals the target for 60,000 and then 32,000 over time, and does some minor stat buffs and increase. It's a very good spell for getting, make sure no one dies. And typically when I'm healing with the Shaman, it's because something is going crazy. Like lots of damage, lots of mobs in group, and I just need that extra healing power to make sure that the tank doesn't die. Typically, I do not heal unless I need to. And then Ancestral Aid, another one, heals the whole group for 12,000 and increases their stats. And then here at the end, I got Cannibalization, just so that I can keep my mana up at all times, and I'm always cannibalizing. And then here I have Burns. I got Spire, which just increases a bunch of stats and makes our healing better, and our right here, the whole group gets this, so 25% extra chance to proc, 60% more accurate, and base damage goes up, so that's pretty nice. Silent casting lowers our aggro. Focus Arcanium improves our resist modifier. Dampen resist improves our resist modifier. Fleeting Spirit gives us healing twin cast. No, this is the twin cast for that's actually twin cast for two different things. I never noticed that. Twin cast for our damage over time spells and our heal over time spells. Spiritual Urgency. This gives us a pet to distract things, so it's a little bit of a chaos to the mix, right? And then Spiritual Blessing gives us a 100% chance to crit our healing. And then we have our Breastplate, which is our clicky there, which calls upon spirits of our ancestors to heal the group members for 45,000 to 85,000. And the lower the health, the more they're healed. So it's a big little heal there. Very nice. All right, so that's my burns. And I got a sit macro. I got an escape macro here. So this one turns me into a totem, and stuff stops attacking me. It's pretty nice, actually. It's like kind of almost like a feign death, if you will. Then I have mount. I'm pretty much always mounted up on the Shaman when I find a camp to camp at. And then I have a pet attack macro, which is pretty much just a pet attack plus spirit call. And then my debuff macro is Mallow and Slow on X target 19. All my characters are set up with the same extended target window. The first 6 being the group, 7 through 18 being the targets that are not being currently engaged, and then 19 being the currently engaged target, and 20 being the tank. So they're all kind of set up like that, so it keeps it easy for me. And then assist dots is just cast all of them, cast everything, get all the damage out there. And then I have a short duration buff, which is literally just cast Melancholy. So when everybody else does their short duration buffs, Shaman does that. I have Mass Group buff and Tranquil Blessing. That just allows me to buff everybody in the range. So when I die, I go to Guild Lobby and I buff everybody with Focus and whatever else. I have a follow macro here, which just turns off attack, X target 1, so it goes targets my tank. And then I stand, I follow, and I invite. So if I'm invited to a group and I invite that person to a group, because it just the way it works, they will join the group. Then I have some teleporters here and just clicky stuff there. Now I have these, X target 1, cast 1 spells. I don't use these at all. They're just here for legacy purposes at this point. I haven't removed them yet. No idea what that was. Have no idea what that was. I copied my UI from another character. I think my druid. So here's my multi-bind. I kind of already covered all of that. And then I have healing or experience potions and lesson at devout in the same spot on all my characters, so I can use those. Those were all the things from the burn. I have spiritual channeling here. Just instead of taking mana to cast spells, I can use health, which is kind of useful at times. So I have that right there next to cannibalize. And then right here I have all of the mallow and slow for AoE and single target, just in case I need to single target slow or mallow something. And then I have Call of the Wild, which will bring somebody back to life, giving them 20% resources, but no experience back. And then here I have my 96% res. Then I have Radiant Cure, which just group cures anybody, and then Purified Spirits, which cures me of anything, so if I need to cure myself. And then I think I showed these earlier in the video. I have just single target macros for casting slow, Taltac, pet buff, regen, stuff like that. Then I have what is it called? The familiar. Every expansion gives you a familiar. I have whatever the best one is, so I can get that buff for that extra 1400 hit points plus the 14 points of mana regen and whatever else is there. I'm gonna get rid of the shrink. I don't know why it's there. Then I have you can also use the metamorph. So when you metamorph your pet, watch my pet will turn into an orc or invisible, depending. Yeah, I have models off, so it goes away. I have the metamorph orc because I can see if he has weapons, but now I don't need to do that because now there's pet inventory, so I don't need that there anymore either. But it turns my pet into a something. It also casts the familiar, so you kind of double dip it if you want, but I can also turn my pet into whatever this is. I have group shrink because I like to have my character shrunk. It makes it easier to do things. This Pack of the Wolf is the Shaman aura. This is probably the best aura in the game. It is by far overpowered in every sense of the word. The range is 10,000. It lasts until you die. It is just absolutely fantastic. It grants Ultra Vision. Grants See and Viz, grants 80% attack speed, grants increased mana, health, and endurance by 30,000, and it triggers werewolf form. It's just like insane. It's the best aura in the game by far. And then what is this called? Pre-incarnation just gives me a chance to come back from life if I get killed, which it actually works sometimes. And then Visionaries Unity are kind of self-buff here. Places a mystical wolf pack, granting us a chance to summon wolves. I think that's pretty much how that works. And just pretty much cast that when I cast everybody else's. I have everybody's hotbars all the same, so I can use the IS Boxer key repetion to broadcasting to do that. All right, that was a lot. That's all my spells, that's all my hotbars, that's my extended target. Let's talk about gear. So the best gear you can get here at 120 is the Lorien Song Tier 1 gear. I have a full set of it right now. I'm also using the Priest two-hander, which is probably the best item for the Shaman. Typically you'd want a melee. I don't get a chance to melee, but this one works pretty well. I do melee when I'm not healing, so if that makes any kind of sense. I'm just too lazy to position her most of the time. You're gonna want the neck as soon as possible because that increases your healing. You're gonna want the range item as soon as possible because that increases your disease. And you're gonna want the bracer as soon as possible because that increases your poison. I believe the helmet does magic, and I believe that focuses the curse. I can actually see that real quick if we do this. Shoulders, actually. I have no idea. That one resisted it though, so let me see this guy over here. Conflagrant armorist. So what shoulders do? Reduces the cost of stuff. There we go. Every tick, it triggers the helmet. So you can kind of see there. Every tick, helmet gets triggered, so it does increase the damage of it there. All right, gear wise, you know, your best you can get, right? So if you're, you know, locked at Terror of Luckland at 125, best gear you can get is the tier 3 Terror of Luckland. Same with Knight of Shadows. If you're locked at Knight of Shadows, the tier 3 Knight of Shadows is the best you can get for the group game. And then at 120 for when Lorien's Song unlocks, the tier 1 gear from Lorien's Inn and the other tier 1 zones is the best you can get. My weapon is from Lorien's Song, and all my armor is from Lorien's Song. My jewelry is still consigned Defiant gear from being a heroic 100 character. All right, AA wise, I focus this character on mostly doing debuffs and damage, right? So I'm going to focus on getting all the different focus effects for my dots. I'm going to focus on my synergy. I need to get the next one here at 125, and then I'm going to do healing. So I'm going to do damage and then healing, and I think that should work out really well for me. Heroic stat wise, I don't know if I mentioned this in other videos, the heroic stat for a shaman is stamina. That is probably the best bet to go. You want more hit points. More hit points turns into more mana via cannibalize and spiritual channeling. And the cannibalize here. So the more hit points you have, the less, you know, less you have to heal, I guess. I mean, it's all constant, but less your lower percentage, right? Yeah, I think that's everything for the shaman. It's like, you always want your pet out. You know, it's a dot is really, if you got to think of it like that. I can't even see my pet right now, but I have not seen this pet do anything spectacular compared to what I've seen with the mage and necro pets. I'm going to eventually at 125, when I have full focused gear and stuff like that, I'll go try to solo something, but you know, this pet is not something to write home about. Just say that. But, you know, it is what it is. It's extra damage, and that's really what it is. It does proc Ecliptic. How does she have Ecliptic 2? Everybody else has 1. That is weird. Yeah, here we go. So he hits for 3 to 22,000. So it's kind of random on the damage. It looks like 22,000 is about where he caps out at. So it's a nice little dot. All right, so that's pretty much everything for the shaman. If I missed anything, I'll get it in the 120 video, or 125 video. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.